Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
All right, this one's going to be probably very, very unpopular opinion because the zeitgeist has determined that AI is a massive threat and we are having Skynet coming in. But lately, I've actually been thinking about the fact that AI might not really be real, because if you've used AI, you kind of know what I'm talking about. Roger Penrose will talk about this particular phenomenon that I actually started thinking recently about how AI is potentially just a very complex algorithm and a manipulation. Think about how you can do a paint by numbers. So if I give paint by numbers to one person, they'll paint it the right way. Like, 1 is blue, 2 is red, 3 is, and then you color it all in. The other day I was trying to create an AI image. Jason Sands had said that he had seen an alien with blue skin, no ears. What I tried to do was I tried to create an AI image of the description that he gave. For whatever reason, it would not let me create an image of a person with no ears. I don't know why. So when I tried to create an image without that clause, it kept returning basically the same image to me with slightly different variations, maybe a slightly different expression and stuff like that. So I kind of wonder if it is like the paint by numbers where you can give it to one person and it looks like this. If you give it to a different person and each person will potentially iterate on that. So if you program a computer to do that same thing, here's the base, it's a man, say, and here's how you color it in, and here's how you can change the hair, and you can manufacture, you can have it pull from the entire internet to pull different hairstyles, different everything. So is it real or is it not? But I wanted to do this video about Sir Roger Penrose, who actually is talking about it and says potentially will never be the threat that people are making it out to be right now.
Careful. First of all, the name is wrong. Okay. It's not artificial intelligence. It's not intelligence. Intelligence would involve consciousness. And I've always been a strong promoter of the idea that these devices are not conscious. And they will not be conscious unless they bring in some other ideas. They're all computable notions. I think when people use the word intelligence, they mean something which is conscious. I mean that. You see, I developed my own ideas after going to a course, and I learned about Turing machines and the notion of computability, and I knew what computability meant, and I learned about Gödel's theorem. And Gödel's theorem I found stunning because it told you that there are things that the understanding transcends the use. Let me put that more clearly. What Gödel does, it's very clever, what he does is to produce a statement. Now suppose you're trying to develop your mathematical methods of proof. What do you mean by proving a theorem in mathematics? How do you know it's really true? Well, you prove it. What does proof mean? Well, you see, does it mean, okay, you've got a set of rules, and if you follow these rules, that makes it a proof. Mm-hmm. Now, how do you know these rules only give you truths? Well, you've looked at them carefully and you say,
but maybe AI creates its own rules.
No, you see. You have to be careful about this. This is the point. But I learned from Steen. This was a man called Steen, who was a logician. And I learned from him this important thing about Gödel's theorem. Now, Gödel's theorem is extremely clever. You make a statement which asserts that it cannot be proved by these rules. It's just, the clever thing is to make it do it. It says, you give your rules, which you regard as the rules of proof, and you could put them on a computer. So that means they're computational rules. Now, I knew that there were things that you cannot put on a computer. I learned from this course that there are non-computable things. There are things in mathematics which are not computable.
Right.
Now, what does computable mean? It means that you can make a computer.
Yeah, you can't quantify. Like, you can't quantify somebody's emotions. Like, how do you program a computer to tell it that should feel like somebody's watching it. There's no way, right?
Define what a computer is. And Turing had one definition of a computer. There were several other, Church and Curry, other people had their definitions of computing. They all turned out to be equivalent. So there is one universal notion of computability, which is what you mean by what can be done by a computer.
But maybe this is only language problem.
It's not a language problem. You see, you make your new language. Sure, you can do that.
It's
you
still
make your
only
new language. And that's what you can do. You see, let me describe the Gödel theorem, how it works, you see.
That's why math works across different languages, though, because it's all the same. Whether you call it a muffin over here and whatever else in a different language, when you add up 2 muffins plus 2 muffins, you still get 4 muffins. I know they're trying to change that now, but it's for right now, it's still 4 muffins.
See, the Gödel theorem says you construct a statement which says you see what it means. The way you've constructed the sentence, you can see what it means. The other way, suppose it's false, then that means it's provable by the rules. And if it's provable by the rules, you've understood the rules, you said, you looked at them all and said, yes, that's okay, that's okay, that. Sure, if you follow those rules, it is true. So that means you believe that the rules only give you truths. So therefore it is true that it's not provable by the rules. If it's false, you see, then it is provable by the rules, and therefore it's true. So it has to be true and not provable by the rules. I found that amazing.
But still I don't understand why AI cannot create its own rules.
Because
It's not programmed to.
it doesn't know that they're true. You see, that's the whole point about the Gödel theorem. The whole point, as far as I'm concerned, about the Gödel theorem is how do you transcend the rules? And that's what you do, by understanding.
The AI would not know if a statement is true. So even if it was able to create its own, it would not be able to say that this is the new rules that I have to follow because it's not programmed to do that. And it could never be programmed to do that because it wouldn't be able to distinguish between true and a false statement just by the provability of that statement.
Understanding them. You understand them why they're true. It's not that you use the rules.
Yeah,
but
you understand. There's an understanding to those rules. And the AI would never be able to understand those rules. It could never be coded to the point where it would be able to understand them.
Most of the rules only give you truths. And that's how you can prove things which go beyond the rules, by knowing why they're true. Now, knowing why they're true, well, what does it mean? Well, it means you understand them. What does understand mean? You've got to be conscious of them. You see, the wording is clear. It means that you have to know what you're doing. You have to know why they're true, not that they're true. You can be told that they're true. You can learn at school that they're true. That's not the point. You have to know why they're true. Why they're true needs understanding them. And understanding them requires being conscious of them.
Mm-hmm.
Now you see, the point I was making is that
you can tell a computer that something's blue. You can tell a computer that, I want you to create an image of somebody with white hair. But a computer will only ever know what you tell it. It can't ever understand how to program something.
Consciousness enables you to transcend the rules. You see why they're true, and that goes you beyond it. You see, what the Gödel theorem does, it tells you how to use your understanding of why the rules are true to transcend the rules.
You think that AI is the simple tool or simple thing that we can use in the single case?
No, I don't say it's single. It's obviously infinite. No, clearly, that's not the point.
It is a useful tool, definitely.
The point is it doesn't know what it's doing.
No.
That's still true with AI. You talk to an AI thing, it doesn't know what it's doing. It speaks from experiences, if you like. You see, people have confused the story. The story is they've lost it in the power of computing. The thing is that computers have got so powerful.
We just think they work like magic and they're actually everything we do, all the stuff, all of the computer stuff that I have here, it's all run by lines of code. And who does that code? People. Now, you can also tell a computer that blue is white and white is blue, and it will believe you. It has no way to discern the difference. And that's what he's talking about when he says about the computer understanding.
That they've lost the thread of what they're doing. I think the point has got lost.
Mm-hmm.
With current, I think Turing wasn't too far off. You see, he was a little bit confused person in a way, because it was not clear what he believed. But he did call this thing the Turing test. How do you decide whether an entity is conscious or not? Will you have a conversation with it? You talk to it.
Maybe AI is a new sphere of human existence.
No. It's missing something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think, that's the trouble.
Consciousness.
It's
Consciousness.
I mean, obviously it has a role to play. I'm not going to say that. Clearly it has a role to play. It has a role, but you mustn't be confused. The fact that it has a role to play, it's to do with the power of computation. Sure, computers have got so powerful now that they can do things way beyond what...
Exactly. You know, you have quantum computing and stuff like that. It could pass itself off as human. Definitely. It still doesn't mean that it is. It still doesn't mean that it's intelligence. So I understand what he's saying, because I started with, a Tandy 1000 computer, and that could only run, very limited programming. And now when you look at the amount of stuff that I can do here, it's insane. And it cost about the same as that Tandy did. $8,000 I'll never see again.
Humans are doing computing, sure. And you can take a massive data and you can analyze that data, and you can see what the data says, and does this thing in accordance with previous things in the data, or is it not? And AI, that's all it does. It doesn't understand what it's doing.
If you go on what he's saying there, it can do a reasonable job as passing for intelligence, and it can easily fool a lot of people. And the thing of it is we are being told nonstop that it is going to be this big thing. It's something to be afraid of. It's more things to be afraid of. Every day we have something new to be afraid of. And always in the background, there's this AI lurking. Part of the problem exists because we get most of our news, media, information and stuff from the internet. And the internet is full of AI stuff, like full of it. And how we interpret that data. Most people that were probably from my generation can discern AI. And maybe people that are very used to using AI can discern it as well. But there's going to be that middle ground of people that won't really know what's true and what's not. And that's kind of the problem. Thanks for watching, guys.